The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
So we saw a chapter of Nate Matson and Ace Perry still has yet to be read. And Ace Perry, soft-spoken but standing up for himself, and Nate Matson comes out like a bully and again tries to intimidate Ace Perry and say he doesn't deserve anything. And oh my God, the mood just changed.
Representing the combination, weighing in at 215 pounds, the Reminder Racer, Remy LaVey.
Keep in mind, if any culmination members interfere, then there will be consequences, and that's all I'm going to say right now. But be that as it may, Remy LaVey and Andrew Palace have been on a collision course for a couple of months. We've had a few false starts in this matchup. These men were formerly very close friends. They trained together, they've traveled the roads together, but now they couldn't be any more opposite. What has happened to Remy LaVey? He's just a nice kid.
More specifically, what was in that can that he was puffing?
The frenetic energy of the Spazmanian Devil, talking about Andrew Palace, who has been assaulted by Remy LaVey on a couple of occasions. Palace could not believe that Remy LaVey would betray his roots, betray his friends, and we've seen Palace on the front lines with Nate Wiggs, with Jason Kincaid, fighting against the culmination. This has been a one-on-one battle we've wanted to see for quite some time, and I'm happy we're finally going to get it tonight, hopefully one-on-one. There's a severe score to be settled here. Remy has tried on multiple occasions to blow that black mist into the face of Palace. I'm not sure what that's made of, but you know it's got to be toxic and disgusting.
Palace, I am begging you right now. We don't have to do this. Palace, we do not have to do this. 5 minutes is all I need. Let's call the match off. Throw the match out. Give me 5 minutes, Palace. I promise you all the power. All the what? Your true potential. You know exactly what I'm talking about. My true potential. My true potential. Remy, we used to be friends. Okay? We used to travel. We used to train together. You're a pretty cool dude. Pretty cool dude. But then the culmination started messing with your mind. It turned into a bunch of scrambled eggs. And that's with you, Remy. And I've been trying to get through to you. But it hasn't worked. So, in that case, you need to get in this ring right now so I can kick your ass. Palace. See, I used to be just like you, Palace. I used to be just like you. I grew up running with some bad people from a bad city, Palace. They've done a lot of bad things. And you know what? When I started to train for this business, I prayed that when I became a wrestler, I would be able to leave that part of my life behind. 4 years living in your shadow of justice. And what has it got me? A whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. It wasn't until Corey and my family, the Cougars, the culmination, took me under their wing and showed me that the greatest wars are not fought with your fists. They're fought with your mind, Palace. Think about it. Your mind, the house of all your fears, the house of all your regrets, the house of all your failures. Are you the hammer or are you the nail? I'm going to give you one last chance to join the culmination. Please, Palace, I beg you, do the right thing. Join the culmination.
Remy is trying to recruit Andrew Palace. Andrew Palace has a lot to process, a lot of deep thoughts from Remy LaVey. Almost speaking in riddles at times.
Well, we asked him if Palace was going to be the hammer or the nail.
And Palace looks like he's given this some thought. Could Palace join the culmination? Are you kidding me? Remy turning his back as if he knows what the answer is. And oh no.
Well, you did mention they have a history.
Oh, maybe not! Andrew Palace unloading on Remy LaVey. This matchup has officially started. And again, Remy LaVey has had the Cobras, he's had Gory for quite some time, but they are not going to be a factor in this matchup, or else, unless they want some serious consequences their way, which I will not divulge unless I have to, and Remy LaVey doesn't even want to fight anymore. Ooh.
Well, I think Remy LaVey may have thought that Palace was going to join.
Man, I think Remy LaVey had convinced himself of it. Convinced himself that he has this Jim Jones quality to brainwash people. But Andrew Palace wasn't falling for it. Remy LaVey, he was a very persuasive talker. He had Andrew Palace questioning himself for a second there. I never thought to see that, but thankfully Palace saw the light in that exchange.
Well, there was a moment where I thought Palace was maybe going to take a drink of that Kool-Aid and follow along, but Palace's own man, apparently.
Ooh.
But, Joe, remember, Palace was given the opportunity. Remember that. He was given the opportunity. Remy LaVey offered him a way out.
Palace was assaulted after his 2 out of 3 falls matchup with Gory in the month of November. Part of that wild 6-man tag in December. Remy LaVey has shown no remorse toward Andrew Palace and has really been taking the fight even harder to Andrew Palace than he has anybody else. And it's almost like Remy wants to change his friend and help his friend see the light, but it's ironic as Remy's embraced nothing but darkness.
Palace in firm control. Remy needs to get his wits about him. There we go.
Remy, is that double handful of hair? Lot to grab there, and Palace not going to let Remy show him what's next. And Palace unloading again. Many, many months this has been pent up. It was back in October when Remy joined the culmination, and Palace was watching on from the staging area in disbelief over what he saw as his longtime friend doing, and now Remy sends Palace shoulder first into that ring post.
And, we talked before about, obviously, this is personal, as these two did used to be friends. But, Joe, this is a little bit more than that.
God! And Palace is not just his shoulder, but his skull bouncing off the post that time as Remy charging in.
Well, proof positive right there. This is more, for Remy at least, and even Palace as well, than getting a win.
Cover. 2 count only.
If Remy has his way, there's going to be some pain to go along with it.
Oh, without question. I don't think Remy cares about wins and losses. Remy cares about opening the mind of Andrew Palace and feeding him knowledge. Remy said before the matchup, the greatest battles aren't fought with the fist, they're fought with the mind. And I think Remy is waging psychological warfare on all of PCW. And Palace, I think Palace may have a busted, if not a broken nose, thanks to Remy LaVey. He's bleeding badly.
Well, Joe, I said it once already. He had the opportunity. Palace could have avoided all of this. All he had to do was join Remy, and you can see from our vantage point that the blood, when it starts to flow from the nose, it makes it hard to breathe. When it gets into the mouth, it makes it very, very difficult to breathe. And the longer this goes for Palace, the worse it's going to be for him. And this is exactly what Gory, what the Cogers, and more importantly in this matchup, what Remy is all about. The new Remy LaVey, I might add.
I'm not sure if I'd say new and improved, but certainly the new and more dangerous Remy LaVey.
And you've known these individuals just as long. Did you ever see a scenario where this is what we'd be getting from Remy, and more importantly, doing it to Andrew Palace?
And not at all. And certainly I never thought that Remy LaVey and Gory would be running buddies, but that's the power of Gory. That's the persuasion of Gory, and the fact that he could take these individuals. Hey, Gory learned from Crimson. Crimson took Gory and Cursed from the outcasts and the dregs of society and brought them together, gave them a family. Now Gory is just paying it forward. He's found the modern day outcasts, and he's using them to do his bidding. As Remy LaVey with a clothesline for 2. And Remy LaVey taking Palace out now just means it's one less individual that Gory has to deal with. Because you know Gory has his sights set on the PCW Championship in our title tournament this March.
And I couldn't honestly think of a better person that this could happen to than Andrew Palace, to be quite honest. I'm certainly happy to see things going as they are. And I don't know if those goggles help Palace see the world in a different place.
Notice Palace trying to get to his feet, but Remy just wrenching Palace back down by the neck, back into that cravat.
You know, not only a more aggressive style with Remy, but Remy's always been a little bit of an outcast. He's always been a little bit odd. But now we're not only seeing just his personality, but how he deals with other people with Andrew Palace.
Without question. Palace with a jawbreaker. And Remy... Oh! Up with a knee strike. Didn't see that one coming. And again, Remy's aiming for that nose of Palace, who explodes with a drop kick.
And it's a smart strategy by Remy. We just saw Remy, his neck snap back off that top turnbuckle. But it's a good strategy by Remy. You know, a lot of guys, they'll work for an arm or for a leg, but Remy goes right for the nose to not only bust it open, but to make the breathing for Andrew Palace hard. That's not just winning a matchup. That's not strategy. That's sadistic.
And Palace, realizing the damage done, his breathing has been compromised. Palace has touched his face and seen his own blood, and sometimes that can do a lot to change a man when he sees his own blood. And it may be having that effect on Palace, who's now rallying.
He just threw that forearm with everything he had, almost knocked Remy out of the ring. And, well, Palace is going to make sure that that's exactly where Remy goes.
And Palace charges with a suicide dive. Remy bounces off the guardrail. My gosh.
You know, I think this is beyond the realm of former friends. It's beyond the realm of one turning their back on another. They're literally, as we've seen on one end, out for blood.
Oh, Palace down with the knees. But does Palace have enough left to follow through? Palace mouth wide open, gasping for every breath he can take in. Remy LaVey, much the same at this point, pushes off Palace. And Palace with a knee. Into the cover. Could this be all? No. And the sooner Palace can end this matchup, the better off he'll be.
And Joe, I've said it 2-3 times now, but let me make it a 4th time. This could have all been avoided by Andrew Palace. Palace had a last-minute opportunity, and he chose to go this route. So anything that's being inflicted on him by Remy LaVey is his own fault, and he brought it on himself.
Palace going for the hernia driver. This will be it. And Remy trying to block any way he can. Rolls through. Oh, caught Palace between the eyes. Palace out on his feet. I mean, maybe he's attempting the mind eraser here. This could do it. Palace counters. Oh, across the knee. That modified neck. Hey, wait a second. Palace. Oh, near fall, but what are these guys doing out here?
Well, Joe, it's not enough to have a one-on-one.
That's Atticus Cogar on the apron. Otis on the outside, but beneath him. Come on.
Well, Joe, the culmination is a family.
Get these guys out. Hey! Are you kidding me? I don't know what the hell Gory just used to knock Palace out with. One of those weapons he carries on him. Blatant defiance of one simple rule. Are you kidding me?
Well, Joe, what do you expect with these individuals? This is personal, and when you're personal with one member of these individuals, it becomes not a one-on-one, but a 4-on-1.
Palace has no idea where he is. And there's the mind eraser. Palace's limp. I I need to go address this.
Well, Joe Dombrowski, how dare Nick Joe Dombrowski is apparently going to ringside to take care of things. We just saw Remy LaVey pick up the victory for the culmination, and I'll tell you, if I'm Andrew Palace, I'm really rethinking my decision I made at the beginning of this matchup. And now this is going to be a message. This is a symbol to everyone in PCW that you do not mess, you do not disrespect Gory, you do not disrespect Remy, and you do not disrespect the Cogers. As now we've got laying the boots to them. And well, referee Dave Dawson can try as he might, but it's going to take a lot more than that to get these guys off, and he's going to pay the price as well. Well, I hope people are getting a good look. This could be the last time that we see Andrew Palace. Andrew Palace is out. He has no idea what's going on right now. And there's that mist. Joe talked about it earlier with Remy's goal, that mist in the face of Palace. And you'd have to imagine that mixed with the blood is not making Palace can't see. He knows somebody's at it, but he can't see. He doesn't know what's going on at this point. Blood through the nose, the mist in that eyes and in that nose as well. And at the very least, we're going to need some immediate medical attention for Andrew Palace. And this is a message. As I said earlier, this is a message, a statement, and a symbol of what happens when you mess with the culmination. What happens when you try to go toe-to-toe with these individuals? And here I said this is carrying Palace off. Or, no, excuse me, no, they're not. Gory's going to finish the job. Double stomp right down onto the ribs. And, you know, I'm all for seeing a beating, but this is getting near criminal levels as we see the culmination celebrating a job well done, certainly in their eyes. Certainly not guys you want to mess with.